Hi everybody, today I'm going to be doing the much requested in-depth ear stretching guide. I have a few notes here just so I don't forget anything. And also let me preface this whole video by saying I don't care if you did something wrong and your ears were fine. I don't care if your friend skipped the size and his ears were fine, whatever. This is the proper way to do it. You can either choose to listen or do what you want. But this is the way I stretched my ears and the way you're supposed to stretch your ears. Everyone has little varying beliefs, but this is what I've learned throughout the years, and this is the truth and what works. Okay. So let me first say, if you don't have your ears pierced and you're planning on getting them pierced to stretch, make sure you go to a reputable piercing shop and get them pierced with a needle. Don't get pierced with a piercing gun because that is blunt force trauma to the tissue, and especially if you're planning on stretching them, that's just it's not good to do. You want to get them pierced with a hollow needle. Your choice of size. Some piercers can pierce ears really large and stretch them immediately. But the typical piercing place will do the ears with about a 16 gauge, maybe an 18, maybe a 14, depends on your anatomy. And the typical piercing gun is a 20 gauge, which is like non-existent. So if you're wondering what size your ear piercings are, they're either probably a 20 gauge if you got them pierced with a gun, or an 18 gauge. So that's the first thing. And things you're gonna need if you want to stretch your ears are: you need sea salt, single flared steel plugs, steel tapers, vitamin E or jojoba oil, and possibly aspirin. If you're going to a larger size, like past like a double zip, like past the 0, you'll also need Teflon tape or bondage tape like this. You can get them at the hardware store. And Spencer's has bondage tape, but I've always preferred this PTFE Teflon tape. Now, I don't have any tapers with me because I haven't used tapers in a long time, but the biggest pet peeve of mine is people that wear tapers as jewelry. Tapers are a tool to stretch. You're not supposed to wear them in your ears. I don't know why they come with O-rings. Sometimes those are usually only like Hot Topic jewelry that are like acrylic come with O-rings, but you should never wear tapers as jewelry. If you wear a taper in your ear, it causes uneven weight distribution in your earlobe and can cause them to heal improperly. So you're not supposed to wear tapers, and when you do use tapers to stretch in the beginning sizes, they have to be steel. Acrylic tapers aren't good for your ears. It's not, the type of material you should be wearing in a fresh stretch or using to stretch your ears, because when you're stretching your ears, it's like a new piercing, and you wouldn't put, like an acrylic barbell in a fresh piercing, so why would you use an acrylic taper? It doesn't make sense. So, steel taper. And what you do is you put some vitamin E oil on the taper, lube it up, put it in your ear, and just do in one swift fluid motion. You can hold the taper in the back and just use a finger or two, just push, and then hold the plug up to it, your single flared plug, and hold it like blunt right up to the thing and just push it through. So the taper will be a tool for you to stretch, and you'll have your plug in. Now some people say it won't go in, this and that. You should never feel like any kind of extreme pain when you're stretching your ears. I mean, some discomfort is normal, but if you feel like a burning, a tearing, tingling feeling, that's not okay and that's not normal. So if that's happening, you take it out and put the smaller size in. That's not normal. You should not be bleeding, no pus. Sometimes there will be like dead skin cells, but it should not be, like super inflamed or red or pussing or bleeding or any of that, because that could be all signs of tearing or infection. You should never stretch with silicone or rubber, as some people call it. You should never just fold up a plug and stick it in your ear. That will also tear it, and it's an absolutely terrible thing to be wearing in a fresh piercing. You should not do that. The only way you should be stretching, I mean, once you get to about, everyone's different. I usually say about around a ½ inch is when you should start using the taping method. Some people like to do it sooner. I think it's most practical to start doing it around a ½ inch. And I'll show you how to do that. Basically, you take your tape and you take your single flared plug. And some people prefer to do this with double flared. I never understood that, but that's fine. So you take a little oil and you put it around the plug. And then that'll cause the tape to stick to it. So you just wrap it like that around the plug, and if there's any excess, you just cut the excess off, and you do a few layers at a time. And just wear that in your ears, and then after like a certain period of time, if you keep adding layers every few days, then it'll be up to your next size. But you want to make sure you replace the tape every few days because you don't want bacteria to build up on it. But if you keep wrapping every few days, eventually you'll be able to hold the next plug up and see if it's the right size or not, and then that size will be your size, and you can just slip that right through. So yes, the way you want to take care of your stretched ears, I usually never touched them because my body healed my ears better if I didn't do anything to them, but sometimes I had to use sea salt, so you would just take a little bit of sea salt and warm water and just kind of dip your ear in it, like that. So a little sea salt soak. You definitely want to do that if there's any like irritation or something. Just clean your ears, just take care of them, you know. And a lot of times if it's inflamed, I know a lot of people say this theory has been disproven, but it still works for a lot of people. Just crush up some aspirin, mix it with water, and make an aspirin paste, and leave that on your ear for like 20-ish minutes, and it should help with any swelling, which you shouldn't get, but still. What else? Once your ears are healed, you should be cleaning your earlobes in the shower, as well as your plugs. You should always clean your plugs, keep everything clean all the time. That way there's no, you know, bacteria or any risk of infection gets eliminated. And it's also very important never to skip sizes. I'll put it all down below, and anything that doesn't have a star next to it is a required size. The things with the stars next to it are like the in-between sizes. If you have stubborn ears that like need that in-between millimeter, then you can use that. And anything below, anything a 00 and a below is sized in a gauge, and anything above that is sized in a fraction of an inch. They're not called gauges because a gauge is just like the unit of measurement for the size. I recommend Body Art Forms to get your jewelry, your tapers, your stretching, anything that you're going to be using. They also have all the plugs and everything listed. Like when you go to buy your plugs, they have all the sizes listed in order, so just in case like you're not sure what the next size is, when you're going to pick out jewelry, it has all the size listed in like fractions of an inch, the gauge, and the millimeter, so you can't mess up. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I missed. Oh, also, once your ears, you want to wait at least 4 to 6 weeks in between each stretch. You got to treat it like a new piercing every time you stretch. Some people wait, you know, a month, some people wait 6, so it's totally on you, but you should always wait at least 4 to 6 weeks. No doubt. I don't care, you know, how your ears feel, how they look, whatever. That you should really do that. And once your ears are healed at a size, it's really good to do vitamin E oil massages along with jojoba oil massages. You can get that at GNC or like any like grocery store probably, or health food store. I know they have them, and just, you know, you want to massage your earlobe with that because it helps keep the blood flow going. No matter what size you are, it's always good for your earlobes. So I think that's it. If there's anything else, I'll put it in like the annotations and the description. It's really hard for me to gather all my thoughts to make a video about something, but the basics are use steel when you're stretching and in freshly stretched piercings. You can wear acrylic and glass and wood and all of that, but only once your ears are healed, and none of that is recommended for long time wear. Steel is the best, surgical stainless steel, or even like titanium, stuff like that, but like the metals are the best for your ears. You can wear whatever you want once they're healed. So the main rules are steel, keeping your ears clean, not wearing tapers as jewelry, not skipping sizes, and not forcing things, and using the taping method after a certain size, because after a certain size, tapers aren't good for your ears. Just too much of a gradual, it's not a gradual jump, it's like too sharp of a jump, and it can cause trauma to your ears. So the taping method's more gradual, and it's better for you. So yes, I think that's about it. Good luck. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask me, and if I left anything out, I'm sorry. I'll just add it to the description or whatever. No, I can't remember everything, but that should be the basics, and I hope this helped, and yeah. Thank you so much. Bye.